Oh my God, I'm freaking out here. Those are live creatures you're looking at. Tonight on The Factor Uncensored, we're venturing into uncharted territory. John, come up and see. Oh my God, there's a snake. Our wildest guess yet. And I don't think we have to, that's like real in just a moment. Also, another reason for parents to stay on top of what their children are doing online. Pedophiles are using virtual reality to target children.
The Isaiah Factor Uncensored starts right now.
I am freaked out tonight. Welcome to The Factor Uncensored. A Houston animal rescue shop is seeing a lot of foot traffic these days. The Houston Underground Animals Pet Store has been accepting exotic animals since 2020. Now, initially, the organization saw a handful of pets every month, but the number has grown. Owner Nick Louie says he's helped rescue 50 exotic animals this month alone. He joins me now here on The Factor Uncensored with one of his creepy, crawly friends. I'm going to keep my distance.
Yeah, that's not a problem. This is one of our little mascots. His name is Samson. So he is actually a Mexican black king snake. And these are a very common pet in the trade. Just, I mean, you could look at them. They're pretty beautiful.
It's beautiful and it's a king, but... Okay, go on.
Not a fan?
Go on, Louis.
But we got lots of stuff here. I mean, we brought some little ones, too. We got some little king snakes here. We brought a couple big snakes. I don't know if...
Oh, crap. I didn't know that's what I was leaning over.
Yeah, we've got some big snakes here tonight. I wasn't sure what you guys wanted to see, so we brought everything.
Wait, John, come see this. That thing is big. What is that?
That is a sun glow red-tailed boa. So that is a combination of two different genetics, hypo and... call albino, to create those orange-yellow sun-glow colors.
Okay, let's go to the next case here, and I'm going to step back.
Now, this was one of our very first rescues.
That has a skin pattern that bothers me.
Oh, look at the rainbow, though.
It bothers me, people. It scares me. Go ahead, John.
She's actually one of our sweet animals here. You can see a bandage on her nose because she came in with a respiratory infection. So we actually had to do a surgery on her so she could breathe right. But that's actually one of my babies right there. That's
all right. Well, you keep your babies. Let's go on to the next one.
Now, the next one here, this is a very common pet, but people don't realize how big they get. This one is an iguana that we rescued, and this one was actually captured by a gardener who was working on someone's yard and found the iguana belly up from the temperatures here in Texas. That is one of the major problems with the animals being released, is they don't have the proper climates here.
Now, tell us the problem that we're seeing here in Texas after the pandemic. A lot of people were bored, and they went out and they bought exotic animals, whether it was legal or not. And so after the pandemic, they're returning to work, they're returning to regular life, and they have these exotic pets. And what do they do with them that you can tell?
Most of the time, people will bring them to a rescue, but when it's too late. So these animals cost hundreds and sometimes thousands of dollars. So what ends up happening is people buy the animal and don't want to give it up until it's basically dead.
Oh my God.
And so we'll get a lot of that. And the other one is they'll take them and they'll just put them outside. They go, oh, it's a snake. Snakes belong outside, and they just put them out there.
And they're not, they shouldn't be in Houston outside.
So one of the big ones we see is bearded dragons. And I don't know, have you ever seen many of these running around Houston?
No,
These
I
come
haven't.
from Australia.
Okay,
so,
let's open it up. Or can you open it, John? Get close so you can see.
All of the animals are super sweet.
It's a beautiful thing. I just don't want to touch it.
Oh, yeah, that's not a problem. So this is a bearded dragon. They come from Australia, and as you can see, the temperatures are quite different between here and Australia. So these guys are not equipped to be surviving in Houston, and people will just put them outside.
And so what does that do to our ecosystem and to them as well as exotic animals?
So those are the two biggest problems that I have personally with the animal dumping, is it's a double-edged sword. So on one side, you have animals who are going out there and starving, freezing, being killed by other animals, and just not having a quality of life. The other side is if you release them, we see what's going on in Florida, if they can survive, they start taking over the land, and the native populations cannot overpower these invasive species. Now, that's the big problem.
And so what do you tell people if they have animals and they bought many of these animals during the pandemic and they cannot keep them, they don't want them? You know, it was a fad for them. It was something to do for a moment. And we understand that.
Yeah.
But don't just throw them outside.
You see it all the time with kids. I know the awesome trick parents use where they cycle the toys. Animals have the same effect. You get the toy, and then 3 months later, you have the next toy and you forget about it.
Right.
The biggest way to stop...
You can't do that with these animals, though.
So I tell people it's not an iPhone. When you get the new one, you don't just toss the old one in a drawer. The animals, they still need food, they still need water, they need cage cleaning, they need all types of stuff.
Okay, I just want to touch this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, my God.
So a lot of people have a bad interpretation of reptiles.
Right.
They are actually a lot less likely to bite you than cats and dogs because reptiles don't play. Most of the time you get hurt, it's from a cat or dog trying to play with you, not trying to hurt you. Reptiles don't play, so they really don't ever bite unless they think you're trying to hurt them.
Got it. And there are some animals or whatever in this.
Yeah.
And they're making a lot of noise here. John,
so
can you get close?
They're very
Oh, those are
active.
smaller, though.
We brought a few different animals to show you, some that are rescued and some that are actually bred from breeders, because you can actually see a major difference. Like when you look at the rescued animals, a lot of the time they're missing toes, they have tipped
I see
tails,
that.
their necks are messed up, they have different damages. Whereas when you get them from an actual professional breeder, they come with the full tails. They're not missing any toes. It's just a completely different animal. So that's one of my missions, is to get rid of the wholesalers and replace them with high quality breeders.
For those who are interested, are you interested in putting these back in homes, or are you interested in putting them back in their own habitat or where they come from?
So you cannot put them back in their own habitat. 95% of these animals will die. What you need to do is you need to find a home that's actually interested in having the animal for the full 30 to 60 year commitment. And that's what I do, is we rescue, we rehabilitate, and we rehome the animals, and we find families or people that are actually interested in keeping the pet throughout its lifetime.
So you got like 50 exotic animals for those who are interested in doing the right thing.
We've got
and a long-term commitment. Where should they go? Where should they call?
So our organization is called Houston Underground Animals, and we take in anything besides venomous animals. I'm not trained for venomous, and we don't work with cats or dogs, just because if you guys don't know the numbers, there's over 1 million stray dogs in Houston and over 250,000 feral cats. Those are the only things. I don't have space for all those animals. So anything besides venomous and cats and dogs, we work with all of them. Now that does also bring me to a bit of surprise. We brought something to show you guys.
Oh, okay.
Now, these are one of the more exotic things that you see in rescues. Now, I'm going to go ahead and take this snake.
We got 30 seconds, Nick, so.
And I'll show you guys the kinkajous. Now, these guys are very shy creatures, and you don't see them very often, but these are the type of things that we get rescues here in Houston Underground. Come here, Mama. And people will just stick these things outside.
Oh my God, that's horrible. But reach out to you guys if they're interested in adopting and doing the right thing, or if they're interested in turning them over.
Yep, Houston
right.
Underground Animals. You could find us on Google or Apple, anywhere.
All right, Dick, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, of course.
I've had the experience, first time, exotic animals on The Factor. We'll be back.